years ago, realized that in an effort to move fast and help companies innovate and disrupt and lead to the tone of this topic, how can I make sure that we're not moving so fast that we miss out on the right way to do things? And when I took over as president of Cinnabon, there was an innovation initiative that was moving very quickly that as the new president, I put my name on it and told everyone, hey, this is coming. And it turned out to be something very different than what I said it was without my knowledge. And it looked like I had lied and intentionally misled the franchisees. And in that moment, I realized outside of losing life and losing love, there are few things worse than losing trust. And certainly when you are the leader. It made my team incredibly uncomfortable because they didn't know what was going on. It made me incredibly uncomfortable, and my franchisees were lawyering up. And it was the worst feeling and the darkest point in my career. And when I reflected on how it all happened, it happened so fast. The lessons were innovation always outpaces your corporation, right? So whatever exists in your company is never good enough for whatever the new thing is. And you just got to know that and have all hands on deck to try to be prepared for it because you'll never catch it. And of course, innovation always outpaces regulation as well. The laws weren't built for Uber, Airbnb, et cetera. And my company wasn't built for launching new multi-channel products that happened faster. And a few things happened. One, I had to make one of those classic leadership decisions, money over culture. Do I keep this line of business that we launched because we have the right to do it, but we didn't do it the right way, and I wasn't as involved as I should have been, and we killed the business because I needed to demonstrate to my franchisees that if we make a mistake and we don't handle something properly, I am going to fix it, and that meant walking away from money, which meant, by the way, having to not promote people, not pay bonuses. You know, there was a real downside effect to people in the organization, but the right thing to do was to stop and say, we didn't handle this the right way, even though we had the right to do it, and acknowledge that I had this incredible failure of leadership in this moment. And the failure of leadership wasn't the actual thing, because that had started before I joined, and I had some overzealous salespeople that sold pretty aggressively into a channel and said yes to a lot of things they shouldn't have said yes to. But as a leader of a family or a company, I believe that the way to show up the best is to have a blend of humility and curiosity on one side and courage and confidence on the other. And if you over-index on one or the other, the outcomes are predictable and suboptimal. And in this case, I over-indexed on humility because I was the new leader. I was the young leader. I was the only female leader. I was the only, right? And when you're the only in the room, and when you have deep respect for those who are there, most of the people in the business had been there longer than I'd been alive. Literally, they'd been in the industry longer than I'd been on the planet. And I had deep deference for that. And I had the humility to ask this question: who am I to question them? Right? I'm sure it's fine. They wouldn't do anything that would hurt the business. Right. But I failed to have the courage to answer the question. And the answer to the question, who am I to question them, is I am the freaking president. And if I don't question them, no one will. And I didn't ask the questions I should have along the way to stay close enough to this very volatile but exciting innovation. And if I had asked those questions, I would have known what had changed and I would have been able to stop it. So while I didn't create it, ultimately, as the leader, the failure was mine. And so the lesson, of course, is back to stay close to the action. When you find yourself in that moment of asking in your self-talk, who am I to question them? Answer the question. And the question is, the company is paying you. Whether you're the president or the vice president or the director or the assistant, they're paying you and they deserve to get 100% return on that investment, so you should speak your mind, especially if you think there's something that could harm the company or an opportunity that's an upside. So it was a big lesson via a mistake.